Hello, my name is Jack Overweg, and I'm going to show you a little bit on how we time our fillers here at Fogg and go through the steps and work our way through the filler and show you how to do it. In order to time a Fogg filler, the main thing about it is that it starts with the carousel. The carousel is the fixed part of the machine. The carousel is what's stationary, and everything times to the carousel. The in-feed, transfer, everything comes off the carousel, is not adjustable, which is the main part down here. And also the bowl is also adjustable. With this arm here, there's 3 bolts underneath here which are slotted, which you can move the bowl back and forth if you loosen that up, because this is actually, arm is driven from the carousel. So that all relates to how you time in your change parts, because if this moved and it's out of position on your lifter, all your change parts are going to be affected by how you time it in. When you start off with a timing, you start with the in-feed star wheel. On star wheels that are Fogg type star wheels, this one has 6 bolts in the middle that we call the main timing. You break those loose, you can rotate this to match up with your pocket and dial it in as you feed your bottles in there and get it timed in. Work your way forward and dial it in. Other of the older machines have got a big nut in the center here that you can break loose and do the same thing. So it depends on what style your machine you have. It's like 6 bolts or a big nut there, and they all do the same thing. Talking about fine tuning, once you get your main timing set, on each star wheel there's slots on the star wheels that you can fine tune between change parts. So if you have a round bottle and a square bottle, you may have to adjust these sometimes. Once in a while, if your timing goes out, it could be the fine-tuning bolts that are in here. There's a little slot here, and those could be the ones that might affect your timing. It may not be the main timing that's off, so this will be the first thing to check if your timing is off to begin with. What we usually do is start with a bottle. This happens to be offset, and it'll come in here, and you want to get this bottle lined up to go onto the valve pretty well centered. So if it's off, you'll have to move the star wheel. If it's the first set of change parts, you want to move the main timing to get it in where you need it to be. And if you got the first set done, then you go into your fine tune timing after that. Once you get your in-feed star wheel timed in, then you can go back and time in your screw. So the screw will be timed to the in-feed star wheel after you get that in, because you're working your way backwards from the carousel. And that is done with set screws on the screw in-feed. There's 2 set screws on each end of the screw to change the timing on the screw. So that will adjust your screw timing to your in-feed star, which has been done to the carousel already. After you get the in-feed timed in, you come back around to the transfer, and we run the bottles around that you started with on the in-feed. And when you get them what we call the tangent point, you want to be picking up if that tangent is lined between the center line of the star wheel and the center line of the bowl. And at that point, you should be just touching the bottle on the back side there. If you touch it too early, you push the bottle ahead, and if you're too late, the bottle will actually kind of stall and not get picked up and moved around. So you want the back side of the star wheel touching the bottle when it gets right at that tangent point there. And it's the same thing You want to basically start with your main timing, and then if you have to do other bottles later. When you come around to the capper, it's a little bit of the same thing. Most of the cappers have got 6 bolts in here that do the main timing on the capper. This connects to a taper lock underneath to rotate, so you can rotate it on around. And you basically, it's kind of like a big star wheel if you think of it. You got to do the same thing to dial that in to get the bottle come in nice underneath the pickup and the chuck here to get the cap on there, to get it centered in there nicely. A lot of our machines have got a timing hub underneath also, which is, bring it around here a minute. This is also part of the timing to help you, assist you in timing the capper in. Once you break the other ones loose, you can fine tune it underneath here with these bolts that are adjustable here and be able to move the whole capper from the hub underneath. That way it's not, you don't have to move as big of a moves, and you can do it in a little bit of 1/16 of it at a time if you have to, and be able to fine tune it a lot easier with this timing shaft underneath on the bottom. Depending on what kind of capper you have, some of the other ones may not have that on, but the picking places and usually have got that on, and the articulating ones have that on also. Then after you get the capper done, then you just follow through on the discharge, matches up to the capper. Yeah, that was how you time a filler. And thank you for watching us, and you can always check out more Fogg Filler videos on YouTube.